So what was the question again? Oh, why is it called the traffic jam? Well, you know, the reason is, it's because I have two really cool cars. Seriously cool cars. And I love drifting, racing, because I am fast and slick, and plus I like to create a bit of traffic jam myself with a whole lot of great music. Bulumnaka, my name is Real, your host and DJ, right here on the Today FM Traffic Jam every weekday from 3 p.m. to 7. Right here on Today FM, today's hit music.
In this bulletin, Ithauke Trust Fund looking at initiating a research project on somate or traditional funeral ceremony. ANZ expects economic boom after elections, and road widening projects to ease traffic jams between Suva and Nausori. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. The Ithauke Trust Fund Board is looking at initiating a research project on somate, the traditional funeral ceremony. The research intends to make a survey of customs undertaken during funeral ceremonies, relate these to cultural significance and make meaningful recommendations for the community. Watisoni Rakandroka has more.
Traditional funeral ceremonies or somate have been a very important part of the Ithauke culture. A lot of work, finances and resources are poured into the preparations as well as after the ceremony.
Somate ceremony and its customs, the impact on their family finances, culture, and also on the social impact on families and the Matangali and the Agusa.
For the first time ever, the customs surrounding the somate will be part of a major research carried out through the Ithauke Trust Fund Board in the accounting firm PricewaterhouseCoopers.
It is the meaning and the value of the practice that we want to record and to have explained. Because some of the things that we do not really understand the value of some of the practices that are carried out in terms of relationships, in terms of maintaining relationships between the communities, and in keeping the ties and connections between families and Matangali and Yabusa.
I think we should change the funeral plans since it's a long process.
It's a waste of time in dragging the funeral process.
The Ithauke Trust Fund is mandated to foster advancement of the indigenous Fijians.
Currently, none of the practices are documented. The findings of the research would be documented and it is hoped that they would benefit the future generations. Watisoni Rakandroka, FBC News.
The first sitting of Parliament on Monday will begin with the reading of the proclamation to summon Parliament for the purpose of members to take their oaths of allegiance. Secretary-General to Parliament Viniana Namosimalua confirms under the proclamation by President Ratuepeli Nailatikau, Parliament sittings will begin from 10 a.m. Tuesday. The first sitting will see MPs being sworn in, election of the Deputy Speaker and election of the Leader of the Opposition. The Parliament at this first sitting is also required to adopt the standing orders. Security will be tight at Parliament House on Monday with police and security cameras placed in specific locations. 2 people have been admitted at the CWM hospital after sustaining burns in a fire early this morning. A 27-year-old man managed to rescue an 80-year-old occupant, however they both sustained burns. The 2 victims were sleeping in separate rooms when the fire started in the child's bedroom. Preliminary investigations revealed the fire may have started from a lit mosquito coil. The incident occurred in Raiwaqa, Suva at around 5:30 a.m., partly destroying this double-story building. Fijian Holdings Limited, the largest publicly listed company in Fiji, will continue to invest millions of dollars into the country. 30 years after it was launched, FHL Chief Executive Nozab Farid tells FBC News they're growing from strength to strength. Chanel Sivan looks at FHL's future endeavours.
Fijian Holdings Limited wants to become a $500 million company in the near future. The conglomerate is possibly the most successful Fijian enterprise and a major player in Fiji's corporate sector.
We have come 30 years, and as at today when we are speaking, this company got total assets of more than 450 million, and the shareholders' equity is more than 200 million. Today we have investment in 19 companies and total shareholders of around 1,300, total employees of 1,600.
With $80 million in dividends paid out since inception, FHL is now targeting a $1 billion portfolio. FHL has always used an aggressive investment strategy. It's bought and sold 40 businesses over the years.
We acquire companies, and we also, if the company is not in line with us, and if we have made money, and if we see that there is no much future being within us, we will divest. We have divested company. So we are also planning to divest few companies in the coming months. And we also want to contribute to the economy in a different way. We believe in that we are part and parcel of the capital markets of Fiji. If you look at the stock market, 3 of our companies, Fijian Holdings, FBCTV and RB Patel, is the major core of stock market.
FHL's presence is all over the economy. It owns a supermarket chain, a TV company, tourism businesses, as well as finance companies. However, there is a big push to grow the FHL portfolio into untapped sector. Some will be opened in a matter of weeks.
So in the near future, before 2015, we are about to make investment in a renewable energy company, and which is not made public so far, so it will be happening within a few weeks. And thereafter is a FHL Tower project, and while we are discussing that, will be, of course, which we have made public, is our cinema project. We are just starting with 4 cinemas in Dundee. The cinema will become operational before Christmas. And next year, also, we are also planning a few more investments in energy sector, in food and entertainment, in property.
Farid says with $450 million in assets, FHL is ready to branch out to Samoa, Vanuatu, PNG, New Zealand and Australia.
Glitz and glamour.
This weekend, more than 1,000 staff of FHL will celebrate the company's 30th anniversary in a glitz and glamour themed event. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
After the break, Red Cross supplies emergency water in dry spell.
Bula FM nambando na serena iwan siningona ni batara ni sibiti ko bekenda na diwa na tini na miniti na may bakuriti ora bengrabe na mantang nonongo kanda na dabiti ko ani na rona kaloko ena kamende ndeba bili na tay wali ni may dabiti ko na wani matakabo kan lem sarti ko na bisere talio ni na namaka ndo batiti ko may kina na kenan daw ro di kanamaki Bula binaka ayo salamilawa do bataki awan na batara na wani dio na kaloko moni tiki na barumbuka ena Bula FM nambandua ena sere
My name is Luca. I live on the 2nd floor.
Gold FM, only the classic hits. I hope you're having fun so far. You're listening to The Ride, and I'm Kara, taking you through your afternoon. Stay with me to listen to more awesome classics right here on The Ride. Bulabinaka, for awesome sounds in the afternoon. Wonderful, wonderful classics. Join me on The Ride every weekday right here on Gold FM, only the classic hits from 2 to 7.
Just don't ask me what it was. I think it's 'cause.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. Traffic jams will be eased significantly for motorists along the Suva-Nausori corridor after the Fiji Roads Authority completes road widening projects. The road leading up to the Nausori airport is being upgraded, while certain portions of the Kings Road will be widened from 3 to 4 lanes. Rashika Kumar has the details.
Every morning and afternoon, traffic along the Kings Highway comes to a standstill. Hundreds of cars, buses, vans and trucks moving at a snail's pace. The Fiji Roads Authority's answer, building more lanes from Dangiri Road to Pilling Road in Nasinu and from Makoi Road to Omkad Road. Fiji Roads Authority Program Engineer Zaina Khan says the two contracts are worth over $31 million.
The one along the Wainambukasi Road from Nosori Airport to the roundabout is $13.3 million. That has been awarded to China Railway Fifth. We've awarded a second contract in two sections along Kings Road from Thangiri Road to Pilling Road and Makoi to Omkar Road. The total for that is $18 million.
The next phase is road widening from Nakasi to Develevu in January 2015. Khan says the upgrades will increase capacity and safety along these key roads.
Before it used to be only two lines and used to be more cars and it could not cater. Now we have more lines and it can cater the cars now and ease the traffic in the morning.
It's good for us, for the traffic, it's flowing away and people are going. It's normally in the afternoon it's very traffic, so we people are just good for us to go freeway and we reach Nasori easy.
There will also be more bus stops and footpaths, drainage will be improved, new street lighting will be added and some landscaping is also expected. Rashika Kumar, FBC News.
The Fiji Red Cross Society has begun providing assistance to people affected by the dry spell in the Central Division. The society is pumping clean water using the Nomad Purification Unit for 3,426 people of Lomaivuna in Naitasiri. The Red Cross team has so far distributed about 55,000 litres of water to the people of Naitasiri after the Commissioner Central requested for help. Disaster Management Coordinator Eseroma Lendua says if there are calls from other divisions, the society will help.
We're looking at the needs in these two divisions, in the central and in the western. In the western, there's much more need in there. And also looking at the sources. In the central division, there's a lot of sources. We have the big river here. But in the western division, there's not much. And during this dry spell, most of these boreholes and these wells have dried up. And the water is really scarce in there.
The society is being funded by the Water Authority of Fiji and DISMAC. Sports is up next. Here's Jamie with the latest.
Good evening. In sports tonight, John McKee names his 30-man squad for November Europe Tour and pressure on Raiwaqa football ahead of the upcoming IDC. These stories and more after the break.
छू 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 हे नमस्ते फीजी, आपके हर एक प्रॉब्लम की दवा लेकर मैं आ गई हूँ 9 से 12 बजे तक आपकी सहेली रेनू। छू 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 40 में 20 का दिखना है। मैं हूँ ना आपके साथ में मिर्ची एफएम पर 9 से 12 बजे तक मंडे टू फ्राइडे। मिर्ची इट्स हॉट।
Yani borong tu mai na radio Fiji 1 totoka tunan raki na ngona ni ko ni takini ni nandoba tu mai na ngono me da ben na ruana no binga rabi na singale ni ko ni sangula binaka oya wana kamana langi na makia na bi mataka mai na ziwa ki na ruwa na bi singale mai na moni tikina borong buka na radio Fiji 1 nando mai biti bonga ni bi ni adu.
Welcome back to FBC Sports. Vodafone Flying Fijians coach John McKee has named a 30-man squad for the 2014 Europe Tour in November. There are 4 players expected to make their international debuts: Wellington prop Daniela Koroi, Tasman lock Tevita Dhavumbati, Taranaki back rower Nemaya Songeta, and France-based speedster Alipate Ratini. Ratini has been in devastating form for his club Grenoble in the France T14, and McKee will be hoping he has the same effect with the national side. Meanwhile, McKee has also retained several big names from the June tests for the Europe Tour. The Flying Fijians coach says his plans for the 2014 Rugby World Cup are falling into place and the Northern Tour will be another testing ground to select the best possible team for the world event. Charlie Ndadakdaka has more.
According to Vodafone Flying Fijians coach John McKee, preparations for the 2015 Rugby World Cup in England are now well underway. The Kiwi mentor has retained 24 players from the June tests, with injury ruling out key players such as Seremai Mbai, Apine Katini and Netani Talei.
Reflecting on June, I thought we played some very good rugby at times, but we also learned some lessons, particularly in the defeat to Samoa. Certainly for November, it's a big step up, and we know that we need to step up from the standards that we set in June. But I think is when you see the team that we've managed to put together, that we have the players that can do that.
The Vodafone Flying Fijians will take on France on November 8th, Wales on the 15th and the USA on the 21st.
It's important for us to challenge ourselves against the Tier 1 nations in Europe, and it's also important because we play Wales, who we play in the Rugby World Cup in Cardiff. So it's not just the games on this tour, it's also about the whole touring group, the whole management, working on our systems and processes for next year. And certainly, to take on Wales at Millennium Stadium, as we will next year, is a big challenge for us, and one that I'm sure we'll be well up for.
Local and New Zealand-based players will assemble for a week-long camp on the 20th of October and depart for France on the 24th, where they will be joined by the rest of the squad. Talendo Rakavak, FBC Sports.
The Vodafone Fiji 7 side for the Gold Coast Sevens continues its preparations ahead of the tournament, which starts on Saturday week. Coach Ben Ryan, who is with the Shadow National side taking part in the Oceania Sevens in Australia this weekend, has left behind a training program for his main team. He says the Gold Coast tournament will be crucial to convince fans the selected players are the best to fly the Fiji flag.
By no means is it going to be easy, but like I said, I've got a group of boys that are going to fight very hard in every game, and I think that's what the Fijian public want, a team that are going to give it their all.
The Fiji National Rugby League has started its preparations for the Muri Games that will be held in Suva this month. The Fiji Residents East Selection Trials was held in Suva today. Josephine Avula has the details.
A large number of players stand up for the first day of the trials that will determine the standing of the Fiji Resident East squad. Team manager Ilisoni Rongoyawa says they will also have a trial session held in the West Division.
We're going to select 20 players from this one, and there's another trial going down at the West while we're having this one, and they'll be selecting 20, and for the next coming Tuesday, then we'll finalize down to the best, the last 20.
Rongoyawa says they are having trials for the Pacific Games at the same time.
At the moment, we'll concentrate on the first 20, and then we'll monitor the next 20 for the next Pacific Games.
Rongoyawa also adds they will be focusing on improving the players' standards.
We're looking at the consistency, because we just finished off about 3 weeks from our grand final. We'll be looking at consistencies, our ruck areas, our defensive, and the knowledge of the game, mostly the knowledge of the game.
The Muri Games will take place on the 25th of this month at the ANZ Stadium in Suva. Josephine Navula, FBC Sports.
The Raiwaqa football side knows that expectations for the team is very high going into the Courts Inter-District Championship that starts on Saturday. The Delta Tigers know that after winning the Battle of the Giants title, other teams will be out to stop them from lifting the most prestigious crown of Fiji soccer. Rohit Deo with the details.
The Raiwaqa fans have nothing less than a win on their minds when they watch their team take part in the Courts IDC Championship starting this weekend. Raiwaqa is riding high after a really good outing at the Battle of the Giants, but officials believe that every team is as good as their last game.
There's a lot of expectation from everybody, from the officials, from the fans, from family members as well. But for us, we need to take things as it comes, and IDC is just is another tournament, so we cannot rely on our past results to take us through. So for us, it's a matter of going in there and getting the job done.
The Delta Tigers failed to make the semi-finals at last year's event, but boosted by the national under-20 players are fencing their chances at this tournament.
For them, it's it's a competition that will bring them a lot of tests, and as you know, they are all members of the Fiji Under-20, and it's going to serve them as the best possible way of testing their knowledge on how they play and how well they need to play as far as their chances in the national Under-20 is concerned as well.
Raiwaqa has won the IDC title 9 times, with the last time being the year 2010, ironically at the ANZ Stadium when the team defeated Lautoka 3-1 in the final. With a squad laced with mixture of youth and experience, Raiwaqa looks to be one of the favourites to win this year's crown. The side takes on Nanronga in their first match at 4 p.m. on Saturday at Prince Charles Park. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, the Lautoka football side has also been trying to put its off-the-field issues behind them and prepare well for the court's IDC. The side, which was hit by the resignation of former President Sanjay Prasad, is being led by coach Lambert Sarju and interim administrator Rajnesh Naika. The Blues have been boosted by the inclusion of former Nandi rep Rusia Tematirerenga, as well as brothers Penny Finau and Leone Vurukania, while the remainder of the squad remains mostly unchanged. The Suva Marathon organizers have finalized the 3 different distances to be run during the event this Saturday. Those taking part will decide on what distance is best suited for them before competing. Tournament organizer Dr. Eddie McKegg says they are hoping for more participants to sign up before the start.
It's the Suva Marathon, but we have marathon runners, which is 42.2 k's. We'd have half marathon runners, which is 21.1, and 10k runners and relay runners. So it's not, we not encourage people to come out there and run 42 k's.
The Suva Marathon begins from Albert Park at 4:45 a.m. on Saturday, and it will be aired live on FBCTV. That was your sports for tonight. It's back to Jackie now with business.
ANZ Bank says the challenge for Fiji's new leadership is to maintain growth through increased regional and international trade and foreign investment. Reacting to the successful completion of elections and the appointment of a government, ANZ CEO Pacific and Fiji Vishnu Mohan says he has the highest confidence in Fiji's future. Ritika Pratap reports.
Vishnu Mohan says Fiji has come a long way and the signs are evident of a strong economy with vast potential for sustainable growth. He adds the macroeconomic outlook in Fiji is bright as private lending climbed sharply by 17%. The key drivers for this were income tax cuts and lump sum pension fund payments. Car loans are up 200%. Business lending is up 20%, which signals the private sector is buying into a positive election result. The International Monetary Fund, World Bank, and Asian Development Bank and bilaterals Australia and New Zealand are keen to get aid back to Fiji. This will be in form of large infrastructure projects, re-establishing stronger links. ANZ Economics have upgraded its forecast for 2014 real GDP growth to 4%. This is based on higher fiscal stimulus announced in the national budget, new 2008 GDP base, stronger credit growth, a likely investment surge post-elections. Near-term economic activity is expected to be buoyed by infrastructure projects such as the Damodar City project in Suva, upgrade of Nandi International Airport, and various large hotel and resort developments which will have positive spillovers to the tourism-related sectors. In terms of international trade, Vishnu says trade between Fiji and the world climbed to nearly $5.7 billion last year, an increase of $1.9 billion from 5 years ago. The Blue Bank says signs of economic health in Fiji are robust, and now the election has removed an enduring geopolitical uncertainty, not just domestically, but for international investors and governments. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
It's weather time now with the lovely Trish.
Why, thank you, Jackie. Now, as for today's conditions, Suva and Savu with the same conditions today. Cloudy skies with brief showers. The rest of the major centers, as for Nandi, Lotokamba and Lambasa, all faced fair conditions throughout the day. As for today's temperatures, Suva and Nandi were on 29, Ba 33, Savu 28, and Lambasa with the highest hit 31. Taking a look at tomorrow's forecast, should be much of the same as today's. Suva and Savu with similar conditions again. We might have cloudy skies with scattered showers. The rest of the major centers might have fair conditions all day. For Mariners, southeast winds 15 to 20 knots and moderate to rough seas. Taking a look at today's weather picture, a very beautiful image by Lorima Vatu taken in Savu overlooking the bay.
Thanks so much for that, Trish. Recapping our headlines, Itauke Trust Fund looking at initiating a research project on somate, or traditional funeral ceremonies, with the help of accounting firm PricewaterhouseCoopers. ANZ expects economic boom after elections and road widening projects to ease traffic jams between Suva and Nausori. Visit our FBC website to take part. To catch up on all the latest in news, www.fbc.com.fj. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. That's news for tonight. The team and I will be back tomorrow evening at the same time. Until then, good evening.
Great words there from Lucky Dube and Baban. I hope you enjoyed that number. Different colors just for you. On Gold FM, only the classic hits. Louise with you on the Center Show. Well, thank you so much for the sweet company. This is Alana Miles, one of my favorites, and Black Velvet for you. Hi there. Join me on the Center Show every weekday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. for the best sounds on Gold FM. Only the classic hits.